Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to do some more changes to the competition car. So in the last couple of videos you might have noticed that we're making some big changes this year, and one of those is the rear suspension. I want to change some things up and make it better. So yeah, today's video we're going to look at suspension stuff. Obviously we'll still be working on bodywork stuff. That's going to be in another video later on. So anyway, let's get to it. So this is the current status of the car. You can see the bodywork is not great. That needs to be all cleaned up. But we're going to lift the car up there shortly. But first of all, I'll move my hands. Let's have a look at some of the changes we're making. So I have brand new 300ZX front calipers. We've been running the Skyline R33 GTST brake rotors and calipers for some time now. But I have brand new calipers, so we might as well put them on. The problem is that the difference between a Skyline caliper and a 300ZX caliper is disc size. So this is I think it's a 270mm disc. So put new pair of front discs on the car. We put the new calipers that we have on the front of the car. That should maybe lighten it up. I don't know. That's one thing I want to check to see does it make a weight difference. That'll be interesting. We have new brake pads. I don't know where I left them. I got some new brake pads as well from EBC. I've been running the pads for years. Usually run yellow stuff. I'm going to try this blue stuff. It's called NDX. It's supposed to be better from lower temperatures, so we'll try that because on the rear I have been having issues with the handbrake. So we run a 0.625 handbrake cylinder. Look, this is kind of a European spec inline handbrake, and it works really good. So you can see we've got the PBM rear or a Z32 rear calipers. These are fantastic, brand new. Like, I mean, you know, they work pretty good and they bolt onto every solution. You can see we have our Skyline rear disc. But one issue that we've been having is that the handbrake performance is hit and miss. So for example, with the yellow stuff pads, I realise it's not until you kind of get into battles that the handbrake starts to properly work. So obviously it's a temperature base. Now maybe they're glazing over, they are a year or two old, so maybe a fresh pair of pads would fix that. But I want to try something else. So we're going to try the blue stuff pads, see if they work better for what I'm looking for. And with the rear, we're going to go with this DBA rear brake disc, which looks absolutely fantastic. So mostly people run EBC stuff. I couldn't get an EBC rear disc. So yeah, that's the DBA rear 300mm Z32 rear disc. So pretty nice. Look, we don't really need great braking performance. You know, the reason why you get high-ended brake rotors and shit is for temperature. Look, yeah, I just need the handbrake to work. That's all I want. So we'll try that. And if that doesn't work, I'll just get another set of these PBM calipers. They're pretty reasonable. They're like €230. And yeah, we'll just bolt them on and we'll just do the handbrake lines and we'll just be done with it. Yeah, so that's the best that we can do with the OEM stuff. And hopefully we can figure something out to make that handbrake better. Now, it doesn't really affect me too much. I can still qualify first. I can still win battles with the handbrake I currently have. But having that bit of extra handbrake performance would help definitely when chasing and when I'm in the lead run, try to do, you know, bigger, crazier shit. So you would have seen that we picked up rear BCs. I actually run BCs in the front of the car already. I'm actually not really sure what. Oh my god, they're pretty messy. Need to be cleaned up. So we run BCs in the front of the car already. We've been running for a year. They seem to be fine. So we're going to run them again this season. And in the rear of the car, I've been running HSDs with a 4K spring. At the start they were great, but they may or may not be like 12 or 13 years old, so I think it's time to replace them. So we gone with the BR rear BC with a 4K spring. So not much to say there. We'll put them in the car and see how we get on. That's one big change we're making. The next big change is this big box here. You would have seen it already, and inside here, because we're going to a different brand of rear knuckle. So yeah, we've been running the FDF kit for a couple of years now, and we've had some really good successes with it. One of the main things that I really like about this, well, first of all, is I don't have a spare, which you could argue is not a good thing, and you're probably right. But we haven't really needed a spare because the kit is actually very strong, and it does have some failure points, which allows you to fix it. So for example, you can see here on our toe bracket, this has broken before. This was bent by a chase driver who hit us very inappropriately hard, and it bent the toe bracket. And then we just bent it back straight the best that we could, welded it back up, and it did another season fine. And this is another example. So this happened to us the last round of IDC. You can see the bracket got bent, and all we have to do is straighten it back up, weld it, and it'd be good for another season. Obviously, FDF do sell these as a replacement, and you can see there's only 6 or 7 bolts or whatever is all you need to remove, and you can replace it. So you're probably wondering, okay, why can't you make the FDF stuff work? Well, I mean, we could, but I feel like this setup is a little bit too advanced for what I'm trying to achieve. So I'm trying to take the car a step back because I don't fully understand the kinematics. So that's the change that we're making. I'm hoping that it'll be a nice change, and hopefully we'll get some decent performance out of it. And I mean, look, maybe in the future we'll put the FDF stuff back on. But for now, that's what we're going to do. So we got the knuckle on, we got the traction rod on, we got a new coilover in, got the lower control arm on. My dad is actually painting the toe arm and the camber arm as we speak. So they're being painted right now. Also being painted. Not a necessity, but I mean, considering we're over a month away, a bit of painting does no harm. While we were waiting, we decided to swap out the front discs and caliper. So like I said earlier, this is a smaller front disc. Obviously we've got my front wheel on it right now. So I'm going to put a size comparison. That's my hand. I can barely cover the hub. That's my hand here. It's quite a bit smaller. So weight difference, I do think, I mean, this is a used disc. This was on the drift car for, man, 2014 at least. So it's been on the car for 10 years, actually. That's hilarious. So this disc has a bit of usage on it, obviously. This is obviously brand new. So yeah, it could be a bit heavier over OEM disc, but anyway. So fresh calipers, fresh discs. My dad's slowly pulling off the other one over here. We're going to put the steering tires, the actual wheels, on the front of the car because of bodywork reasons later on. But Dad is just making it harder for himself by just spannering half a turn at a time when he feels like.
You're recording me?
I am, yeah. I'm going to time lapse this of just you going so slowly.
I'm moving so fast you can't see the.
Right, so this whole back left corner is on the car now. We need to check a couple of different things. One, I need to pull the shock back off and check our bump stop with everything else. So, talking to Darren from Group D, he said pull the shock off. I do know, as you can see, there's damage here before. So this lip here, which is pretty common on an S14 and S15. Yeah, has been hit by the camber arm, and this camber arm is what was doing that before. So we have two options: either we cut into here or just get a different camber arm that clears. And I think camber arm makes more sense because we might be able to get better articulation and kinematically better stuffs. So yeah, I need to do that, and yeah, I need to order some Heim joints or rose joints depending on where you are from the world for the Driftworks arms. Okay, so I actually got some camber arms from Group D. Big shout out to those guys. They got me in a set of these HynesZ tight clearance camber arms, which will fix the issue, our issue that we've had on the rear. So if I get that in the shot, you can see there's quite a bit of clearance there. So got a pair of those arms, nice pillow ball rose joints. Nice quality product. Wrong colour, unfortunately, but it will do. We're now actually in the future, so I'm going to get these on the car right now. We'll finish off the install in the rear. I'm going to get the whole suspension pretty much ready to be lined. And then we're going to end this video. So I got the HynesZ arms in, but we're going to have an issue, I think. With the GKTECH, you only get so much clearance here on the pillow ball for the knuckle before the U part of the arm bottoms out on the knuckle of the GKTECH. So you guys might see now. And you can see the arm hangs fairly low. And I put my drive shaft shop axle in, which you can see right there, and it actually bottoms out on this bolt here under full compression. So, well, partly through the compression. So that's not going to work. Now, I didn't necessarily have that issue with the Driftworks arm, which I have on this side. So this side you have a little bit more clearance. Can you guys see it? You have a little bit more clearance on the Driftworks. On the back side here, this distance from the bolt to over here is greater. So you have better clearance on the knuckle side, but then the shaft clears fine here as the shaft clears fine on the arm itself, so there's a little bit more space because it doesn't drop down. But then obviously we have issues on the chassis side. And the reason why I got these arms was to clear the chassis, but no, I mean, we're not even reaching anywhere near the chassis. So I think, so I was talking to Darren, just got off the phone from him, this needs to be modified, this arm, to clear the GKTECH, to clear the shaft. So I'm going to experiment between the two arms. I don't have time to modify this. I really need to make a decision on what I'm doing. So I'm going to find whatever I get the most amount of travel without hitting anything. And I'm going to pick whatever arm suits best. And that's the arm that we will run for round 1. And then after the round, I'll pull the arms out. I'll pull, I want to get some more negative camber in front of the car as well. So I'll pull that out after round 1. And we'll give them to Group D, let them do the modifications that I need to get the alignment and stuff that I want, because they do that all the time. And then we'll get it sorted for round 2. Right. I swap the arm out. We'll push it up first of all, see where we go. I can't see shit, man. Turn on flash lamp. What? I might put a washer on the other side of the bolt to get a bit more clearance there. Seems to be good there, and we seem to be good back here. It's just on up here is the issue. If we really wanted to, I reckon we could hammer that back and we can get our clearance. I think I'll put the shaft in first, so let me just lower this down a tiny bit. So just finished up the rear end here. Pretty much everything is all tightened, ready to go. Still needs the camber alignment and the toe alignment, which I'll get to another day that we're not having to have the car on the ground. We got our camber arm in, toe, everything is set. We have our ride height set. Pretty happy with how the car looks. So lower on the ground, you can see the ride height. Might adjust it again later on. We'll see once the differential and there's a full tank of fuel in it what the ride height will eventually sit at. I reckon there's another 50 or so kilos to go into the car at the rear. So that could lower it down too much. So I have to double check all of that. But anyway, it's pretty easy to raise the car. So worst case scenario, we'll go to that, and then I know my measurements and I can do all my toe and stuff like that. Final ride height. I mean, I haven't sat on it, so it hasn't compressed completely, but that should be good for now until we've put the quick change, the half shafts, and all the rest of the weight in the back of it. So yeah, it should be good for now. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully some more videos will come up pretty quickly after this, because we're closing up to the event, so we're going into the future, but the next couple of videos will go back to the past a little bit. Alright? Cheers. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon.